Well, he's already busted up.
Oh! GSP drops Bisping!
Stands that he could be gassing a little. It's over, Joe. It's over.
George St. Pierre!
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
Nice right hand from Pereira. And another one now.
Excuse me, it's just devastating. Hard, but he just doesn't have much left.
Oh, there it
hit
is.
him to the
Body shot.
Body
That's
shot.
it. That's
That'll
it.
do it.
Body.
That would be Volkanovski, but that does figure to be a tough proposition.
Before I get into this very true, non-debatable top 5, if you're wondering, it can't be debated because I said so. Some people might get mad over some people that I didn't put in my top 5, so I'll just bring up some names now and why I think they don't deserve to be in the top 5. Most notorious one, John Jones. I have a whole video on it. Steroid user, ducked Tom Aspinall at heavyweight. Tested for steroids multiple times. I know I just said steroids, but it was multiple times. Just so many different controversies to him. You just can't put him in the top 5. Entirely unprofessional. Fedor Emelianenko is often brought up. He didn't fight in the UFC. Not to say there's never good fighters in other organizations, but like, not to compare him to Michael Chandler, but Michael Chandler looked incredible before he joined the UFC. You know, Michael Chandler now only has 2 wins in the UFC. Of course, Fedor would have done better than Michael Chandler, definitely, but it's a big what if. You can't put him in the top 5 when there's that big of a what if. Would he have done good in the UFC? Probably, but I don't know. Never got signed, sadly. Another person is Stipe Miocic. He was pretty close, but the competition in the top 5 are just not. He doesn't compare to the 5. You know, didn't get 2 belts. He got knocked out by Daniel Cormier, but of course he avenged that loss twice. The loss to John Jones I don't really count. He was what, 45, 46. Like, as much as like he has records at heavyweight, it's not like he defended the heavyweight title 10 times. Like, it was 3 or 4 times or whatever it was. And another person that is very controversial to not have in your top 5, but Anderson Silva. I mean, the first thing I want to bring up, his later career, he just didn't. He went on a large loss streak after Chris Weidman. If I'm not wrong, he only won 1 fight, and it was a decision win, and the rest of his fights in the UFC were all losses. Even if you took that away, his later career, steroid usage, once again, maybe not as good as Jones, or maybe not as bad as Jones when it comes to the PED usage and testing positive, but it happened. Anyways, now that we're here, let's get into the list. Oh, and one more thing, if at any time you're watching this video and you start enjoying it, I try to make 2 or 3 videos a week, so maybe consider subscribing. Here we go with the list. 5th greatest of all time, as you saw from the first clip, Ilia Topuria. And I think that even though his UFC run has been short, 4 or 5 years, I'm looking. Yeah, 5 years. The run he's had as of late, I can't think of another fighter who's knocked out 3 of the greatest fighters of all time, period. Like, Alexander Volkanovski, I think, is the greatest featherweight of all time, but Ilia is above him, of course, knocked him out. Max Holloway, someone who's never even been knocked down, I don't think, previously. Charles Oliveira knocks him out 3 in a row like that. It's just crazy. No one has achieved something like that so quickly, achieved wins like that. It's like 3 wins, which one of those wins would put you as a legend. In the way that he did those wins too. You can fault that, like, oh, it hasn't been long enough. I think that just the accolades he's gotten so far puts him at 5, and I used to have Daniel Cormier there, but, you know, the losses to Stipe, and I think that those losses to Stipe and Daniel Cormier's resume is good, but it's not, you know, it's not perfect. Yep, Ilia Topuria at 5. And then for who I put at 4th ranked, which is crazy because a year ago I wouldn't even put him. I'd maybe put him top 10, and it's Alex Pereira for the 4th greatest of all time. His rise to the title was so unbelievably fast. His 4th fight was for the title against Israel Adesanya, which he knocked him out in the 5th round in a very famous fight. Proceeded to then lose to Israel Adesanya in the rematch, so he moves up to light heavyweight, gets the light heavyweight belt after 2 fights, and proceeds to defend it 3 times, loses by a proved fluke loss to Magomed Ankalaev, and then knocks him out in the 1st round. Like, just me describing that is basically all I have to say about Alex Pereira. And honestly, he could be top 3, or he could even pass number 2 and be second. If he wins the heavyweight fight against Cyril Gane, he'll be the first person ever to get 3 belts. And for the 3rd greatest of all time, some people put him higher, but Islam Makhachev only has 1 loss and it's a fluke. And unlike Khabib, he actually has lots more credible wins. Submitted, out of pride Poirier, but very entertaining fights, still finished him. Alexander Volkanovski twice, 2nd time finished him. Sub Charles Oliveira to get the belt in the first place. Of course, like a sub towards Moicano, that was alright. But just totally dog walked his way through Jack Della Maddalena to get the 2nd belt. Like, it's just crazy what Islam's done in his career. And unlike Khabib, I think his career is not flawed. Of course, no fighters on this list have PED usage, and that continues with Islam. And he wasn't on this list prior to becoming a 2-division champ, but he's proved that at 170, as big as his frame is, it still holds up at welterweight. Next, we got the 2nd greatest fighter of all time. I gotta put Demetrius Johnson. Some people put him first. For the time, those are the greatest competitors that flyweight had, and none of them could compete with him. He was so ahead of competition in his time that a lot of people think of him being boring because of how ahead he was. The flyweight division was essentially started because of him, and still to this day, he's the standard for 125 in honestly all divisions. But a few things in his career, like the fact he never got a 2nd belt, he has that loss to Dominic Cruz he never avenged, and of course that loss to Brad Pickett in WEC, and the only person that can say that they ran through their division like Demetrius Johnson and defended it nearly as many times as Demetrius did, avenged all of his losses, no PD usage, got 2 belts, is George St. Pierre, which makes George St. Pierre the greatest fighter of all time. In his time, he ran through the welterweight division in the UFC, lost his first title shot to Matt Hughes, avenged that by a very dominant performance, then loses Matt Serra, which then he definitely avenged. He dominated Matt Serra the 2nd time he fought him. Then he retires for a bit in 2013 after getting a questionable decision against Johnny Hendricks, comes back 4 years later after being older, with stomach issues, and submits Michael Bisping in the 3rd round to get the middleweight belt. It's just evident that no one else has a resume like Pierre, has the accolades he has, and can say that they have no PED usage. Honestly, I wanted to make this one short. There really isn't much to say. I'm going to try to update this probably once a year as things change in MMA. Yep, that's pretty much it. Bye-bye.